This time on the latest procedure. The hip is one of the largest and most important joints in the human body. It allows us to walk, run, hike, and move about freely. However, when this joint wears out and patients suffer the ill effects of arthritis, this freedom of motion is met with pain, eventual immobility, and even difficulty sleeping. In 2012, approximately 300,000 patients in the U.S. will undergo a total hip replacement. And of those, thanks to modern advancements in both techniques and technology, a growing number of patients will choose a procedure that will allow them to regain a healthy level of activity and resume a normal lifestyle more rapidly than ever before. The latest procedure, anterior total hip replacement surgery. Hi, I'm your host, Jim Sissel. Welcome to the latest procedure. Today we're going to be talking about total hip replacement surgery, and we'll actually take you inside the OR to see one of these amazing surgeries firsthand. While total hip replacement surgery has been around since the early 1960s, new techniques and technologies are evolving every day. While there are numerous ways to perform a hip replacement, today we'll be focusing on just one of these. It's an approach called anterior total hip replacement. I'm joined now by Dr. Theodore Firestone, who is the medical director of the Total Joint Replacement Program at Scottsdale Healthcare Shea, located in Scottsdale, Arizona. Welcome, Dr. Firestone.
Thanks, Jim.
So, before we get into the anterior approach, let's talk about the basics of hip surgery. What is it? Why do people need it? What are the causes?
Well, simply stated, arthritis of the hip is where the ball and the socket wear out. The cartilage, the smooth covering, wears out, and that's what causes all the problems. So if you look at this illustration, you can see that there's some spurs that have formed at the hip joint. Mm-hmm. With a hip replacement, we remove that arthritic femoral head. We then prepare the pelvis for the acetabular component. Then we go back to the femur side. We place a stem into the canal. Then we place a femoral head ball onto the stem, put it all back together, and then that's the new replacement. That's what's making up for the arthritic joint.
And who needs this surgery? At what age? What severity?
Any patient that has pain, suffering, disability, stiffness from a worn-out hip joint is a candidate for a replacement. Okay. Why do they need it? Many reasons. Typically, the hip wears out with time. If there's a slight malalignment from childhood, often there's trauma. But basically, we're doing a lot of patients who were in their 40s and 50s that probably had some type of mild abnormality in their joint early on that over time wore out and caused all the problem.
Now, traditionally, this surgery has been done posteriorly. Can we talk a little bit about what's the advantage to the anterior approach?
Well, you're talking about just different ways to get into the hip joint, and there are basically three different ways. So okay. A posterior incision or posterior approach would be based on an incision, and illustrated here, more toward the back of the hip, okay, closer to the buttock region. Then there's a lateral incision, which is based right over the side, and then there's an anterior incision, which is based where your front pocket would be. But more important than where you place the incision is what we do underneath the skin incision. So if we look at the next illustration, so this is what we would access with a posterior incision. That's the gluteus maximus, big muscle. So we would, in the posterior approach, you make an incision into the muscle, spreading it in line with the fibers, and then you get down to the tendons in the back of the joint, and you take them down off the femur to get into the hip joint. Now, when we do the anterior approach, you can see the muscles in the front of the thigh there, and we go in between the tensor and the rectus. That's called an internervous interval because those muscles are innervated by two different nerves. So we identify those muscles and then we spread them apart, and now we're looking at the hip capsule, as you can see in the diagram, and underneath that capsule is the hip joint.
A few weeks ago, Dr. Firestone was kind enough to invite me down to show me firsthand this anterior approach to performing a total hip replacement. In this first segment, he showed me many of the technologies and instruments used to make this procedure possible. I think you'll find it a unique mix. Some things you'd swear came straight from a carpenter's workbench. Others, they're as high-tech as they get.